Hello there, fellow scientists. My name is Max, and this is Tea Time with Max. There isn't actually any tea in the mug because it's ridiculously hot in the UK right now. It's honestly hard to think, hard to exist. It's just a sweaty mess. But either way, today I wanted to show you a website full of cool resources, science related resources for you to read, watch, listen to that I found useful myself. When I finished all the exams last May and June, I still wanted to continue educating myself throughout the summer before the start of the course. And when I went to the open day at the university, I asked one of the professors, is there anything specifically I would benefit from reading, watching, listening, learning? And turns out they actually have a website designed specifically for that. So this is from School of Physics at the University of Bristol, the university I will be attending. And they have a lot of very interesting resources here, from books to podcasts to YouTube channels, etc. Just wanted to go through it. First, we've got the book recommendations. They have three categories. One of them is about physics, the book's about physics. Then we have some books about science in general. Then we have some books about the history of science. I am not a big reader personally. I prefer to listen to things or to watch things. But I did pick up one of the books from here, In Search of Schrodinger's Cat by John Gribben, right here. Bear with me. It's a really, really good book if you're interested in quantum mechanics. The book basically goes through the discoveries that led to our current understanding of quantum mechanics, what we can do with quantum mechanics, things like lasers, superconductors, etc. And then it goes into more why, or rather, what does it actually mean? What do quantum mechanics imply? It goes through all the Copenhagen interpretation, the multiple worlds interpretation, etc. It's a really, really good read. It's not meant for somebody that is familiar with physics. It's meant for a general public. There is some equations in there, yeah, not too many. There's also a bunch of pictures, which is always good in a book. Yeah, it's a very, very good read if you ever wondered about the quantum world. Next up, they recommend practicing Python. If you ever want to go into sciences, Python is pretty much a must. Well, I say sciences like engineering, physics, mathematics. Python is just really, really useful as a coding language for that. I personally used Codecademy, which is a website with courses for various coding languages, to learn Python myself. I only know the basics, but that's enough for me to get a head start on my during my course. So if you want to practice or learn a coding language, Codecademy is a really good resource. They also have a bunch of free options on the website. I'm going to leave the link below. Right, let's get on to the YouTube channels, which I actually have a decent amount to talk about. So first of all, the top three ones are the ones I used the most, especially Numberphile. Whenever I was bored at school, bored of maths, which was often, I used to browse Numberphile's YouTube channel for some inspiration. Basically, Numberphile is responsible for my love for mathematics not dying off due to my below average teacher. So Numberphile, I can definitely recommend the channel. They usually talk about interesting problems within mathematics. There is a wide range of videos, some of them about the fundamental theorems in mathematics. Some of them are just interesting, as I said, interesting problems. Basically, the guy who does Numberphile, he interviews a bunch of professors of mathematics. Yeah, it's really interesting. The same guy actually runs the channel 60 Symbols, which is basically the same thing as Numberphile, but it is for physics. I think it's just physics. It might be some other adjacent sciences, but I'm pretty sure it's physics related mostly. Same concept. The interviewer, the guy who runs the channel, is interviewing professors about their different concepts within physics. Really cool channel. I didn't watch it as much as I did Numberphile, mostly because I had other channels that I was watching for this sort of like science concepts. And now, the biggest one, for me at least, 3 Blue 1 Brown. He is such a phenomenal teacher for mathematics. So, when I was learning mathematics at school, the general idea behind the teaching sort of system was that this is the formula, you follow that, here is 25 different problems, go and solve them. I absolutely hated that. Absolutely. This is not how people learn. Not at all. 3 Blue 1 Brown has the complete opposite sort of approach to learning maths. What he does is he builds your intuition. So he goes through the concepts as if you were discovering them on your own, sort of thing. So it's not like he tells you this is what it is and that's it. He tells you, all right, if we have that and we think about it in that way, where do we end up in? Like what sort of ideas can we get from that? His two video series, one of them on calculus and one of them on linear, I can never say that right, linear algebra, the best resources for learning those two concepts. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm currently going through the calculus one in preparation for the course. 3 Blue 1 Brown, phenomenal maths teacher. I could not recommend him more, seriously. Additionally, I can recommend 2 more YouTube channels. For science news, I could recommend Anton Petrov. He is, sometimes when it comes to science news, there's a lot of excitement, very often for no reason whatsoever. Anton, when he presents the news, he's always down to earth. He always explains all the concepts very clearly and without too much unnecessary excitement. He's a really good source for news. And then secondly, if you want something a bit more sensational, I can recommend PBS Spacetime. No, seriously, the guy is really good at explaining concepts. I really like his explanation about general relativity. It's good. PBS Spacetime is really good channel. Although this is more about the mind-blowing, exciting sort of side of science and more speculative rather than straight up, this is what's happening in science and this is why we should be excited, this is why we shouldn't be excited, sort of thing. So these 2 YouTube channels are also really great sources. Lastly, I want to talk about podcast here. I know there are some websites and blogs here, but I haven't read or used any of them, so I can't really speak for them. When it comes to podcasts, the one that I listen to the most out of the ones here is Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. It's such a good podcast. It's weekly, every Tuesday. There is a few hosts, and each of them brings a news item from some area of science, and they discuss it. So every week you get a bit of news of what's happening across the scientific field, which is really, really exciting. Towards the end, one of the segments they have is called Fact or Fiction. The main host presents 3 news items. One of them is false, the other 2 are true, and the other hosts have to guess which one of them is false, which is also really fun to guess for yourself, to sharpen your skeptic's sort of sense. It's really good. You get to have a lot of knowledge across a lot of different areas, which is always good, always fun. There is 2 more podcasts I would like to talk about that are not here. One of them is called Star Talk, and of course I covered the name. One of them is called Star Talk. It's a very popular podcast. I cannot imagine you wouldn't have heard of it yet. It's run by Neil deGrasse Tyson. and it is mostly about astrophysics, but also a lot of other areas of physics, but also a lot of other areas of science in general. He has a lot of guests a lot of the time to talk about all the areas of science, really. He never goes too in depth when it comes to the concepts, but he does a really good job, and by he I mean Neil. He does a really good job at instilling this sense of awe and wonder in you. And whenever I listen to one of these, I just want to go out and learn more. And that is the true strength and the true power of Star Talk. It's a really good podcast. It's fairly short compared to other podcasts. It's about 40 minutes to an hour every week. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. You get to learn about a lot of things, and especially his special episodes about sports. There's a lot of stuff about sports, so if you like sports, he's got you covered. And also, if you're a patron, you can ask questions, and he will answer them, which is really, really cool. Next up, Huberman Lab. Also, I covered the name. I'm good at this. Huberman Lab. Andrew Huberman, he is a neurobiologist and a professor at Stanford, and his podcast is all about the science-based tools to improve your mental and physical health. I cannot recommend this guy more. Seriously, he explains, as a neurobiologist, obviously he has a lot of knowledge about the inner chemistry, inner wiring of your brain, and he explains how it works, literally how it works. My first introduction to him was actually, it was somewhere here. Yes, psychedelics. He was talking about psychedelics and how magic mushrooms, or psilocybin, and some other, here we go. You've got psilocybin and those one for Adderall, etc. MDMA, there you go. And how that works to help people with serious mental conditions. But this is not the only area he's talking about. He's talking about everything. I can definitely recommend this episode here, Applying Growth Mindset. It's life-changing, seriously. The way we talk to ourselves, the narratives we tell ourselves, when we change them, we can achieve much, much more. Obviously, I don't know as much about this as he does. I am only listening there, so I recommend this. I'm babbling. Yes, he's good. Basically, he is good. If you're interested in mental health, physical health, or just general tips on how to, set goals, achieve goals, how to live a better life, Huberman Lab is a phenomenal resource for you to listen to weekly. So yeah, that will be it for this week. I will leave links to everything I mentioned today in the description. I hope you can find something that you may enjoy if you're looking for the next book or something to listen to on the way to work. There is a lot there for sure. Oh my, I have 1 week of working until I finally start uni. It's crazy. Last week I received my uni email, so it's official now, because up until now it almost felt like a prank, if you know what I mean. Like, oh yeah, I went to the interview, they said, oh yeah, you got it, but it didn't feel real. And now it starts to feel real since I am like officially registered and ready to start. It's crazy. Like, I've been out of education for 9 years. 9 years. And now I'm coming back to it, and it's becoming more real each day. So it's exciting. It's exciting. So next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about next week, or if I'm going to make a video next week. We'll see. But next weekend is going to be the last weekend before the start of the year. The first week, or maybe I'll talk about that. The first week of the year, of the academic year, is mostly admin stuff. So I've got a meeting with the head of the course. I have a meeting with the other participants of the course. And what else? Not much else. I signed up to a extracurricular. I can't say that. After hours? Whichever. To a language cafe. So that's interesting. I'm gonna go there for a taster session on a Tuesday. Not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after. It doesn't matter. YouTube is timeless. And see how that goes. Because if you didn't know, I am learning Spanish. I understand most of it. I don't speak as much as I understand, which is usually the case when it comes to language learning. So it's going to be interesting to see if I can strike up a conversation in a language cafe with some Spanish-speaking person. And who knows, maybe I can teach somebody Polish. We'll see. So that's exciting. But yeah, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and I suppose I shall see you around very soon. Bye bye.